Let's talk more about it. Jeffrey Sonnenfeld, the Senior Associate Dean for Leadership Studies at Yale University School of Management, CNBC contributor, and, dare I say, a prolific writer who has, let's be honest, you've got some opinions about Elon Musk, Jeff. What do you take about this?
Well, you introduced it before the break as hot takes, so I won't disappoint you. I'll make it so hot that I'll direct all the hate mail that comes in your way.
Thank you.
But I will say that if the Tesla board really wanted a bargain, I think I would, and maybe even you as a media star would still take it for $500 billion.
Oh, I can be had for a lot less. I just want to be very clear on that. I mean, now, I don't know, Jeff, if the 423 million shares, if that's existing stock, because then you got to get it from somewhere, or if it's new issues, maybe you do. Because if it's new issues, then we got to get into this issue of dilution. Because and Tesla, by the way, and I've called it one of the most important stocks in the world, not because I'm advocating for the company, Jeff, but just because they have so many shares outstanding and it's tied to so many different options. There's a stock market implication here, too.
Yeah, there is. There's an ancient area of securities law that you will remember from your dusty old law school days. I only took one course in it, but I pretend that I knew more on TV about waste and compensation. The term waste, you may remember, with Duke was held to those standards, and Duke Energy, or Duke cigarettes, actually, tobacco, and they lost it because they paid their CEO too much. We saw the big thing that took place with Musk recently at Delaware courts and the relocation to charter themselves in Texas. I don't see there's a role for the government, for courts in this. I think it's foolish. I think it's reckless. I think it shows illusional and delusional qualities of the board. But this is the shareholders' problem. If they want to sell, they should sell. People who are shorting the stock, obviously, a lot of the shorts haven't done well. It's an issue of timing. But this is the biggest meme stock we've ever seen. Even at its peak, Amazon was nowhere near this level. The PE on this, well above 200, is just crazy. When you've got stocks like NVIDIA that are the price earnings ratio is what, around 25 or 30, and Apple is where are they, around maybe 35, 36. Yeah. Microsoft around the same. I mean, this is way out of line to be 220 PE. It's crazy, and they've, I think, put a little too much emphasis on the magic wand of Musk. Let
me ask it a different way, because you're a professor of management, okay? And I've never met Mr. Musk. I'd love to sit down and interview him. Elon, if you're out there, anytime, let's do it. We're going to show some of the companies he's created. And whatever you think of Elon Musk, I think, Jeff, you would agree with this. There's no doubt that he's got a vision that not a lot of people have had in American or global business history. The Boring Company, Neuralink, Twitter, SpaceX, Tesla. But is any human being worth $1 trillion in compensation?
No, I mean, we never saw Steve Jobs, what do you have, 11% of Apple, Bernie Marcus of the Home Depot, Thomas Edison, is Bill Gates. I mean, this is crazy that he didn't need an incentive. What if he were to leave? Who's going to get hurt? He owns, if the stock fell by 50%, he'd lose $100 billion. If his threats were serious, the board should call his bluff. If bets were serious, he'd be the biggest loser. That'd be crazy. And how could his life be all that different? His lifestyle, it's all a question of ego, not incentives. But you look at those companies. Yeah, he is a brilliant guy. I don't think we'll ever know, and I don't know him, by the way, anybody smarter than Elon Musk and more entrepreneurial. It's extraordinary. But you look at those companies. Where's Twitter? How much has it fallen?
Is it Rockefellerian? Can I make that into is that a verb?
Yeah, Rockefellerian still did this kind of stranglehold. And the performance across Rockefeller's portfolio was better. Solar City was a failing company that got absorbed. Twitter X, of course, is a disaster under him. The Boring Company, you have to give him truth in advertising, lives up to its name. Where are these 26 cities he's supposed to lash together with these tunnels? They're supposed to be completed 7 years ago. Neuralink, everybody's got their nerve bragging about Neuralink. These things were way overstated and inflated. It's the tech bros do love to pump up the value of this stock because of his name, a supposed magic wand. But wherever you look around the world, we're seeing the stocks are down 20, 30, 50, 60% in various countries. And the person they attribute the falling stock to is him. The question is, how soon can they incent him to leave, not to stay, and to develop a good succession plan? There are lots of people who could step in and take this fantastic company the next stage. But, even in China, BYD now is a third of the market. He once had almost a third of the market. He's down to only 4% in China. And the rest of Europe, he's plummeting in Europe, whereas BYD is dominating him in Europe. It's extraordinary. The Chinese company BYD sold some 13,000 vehicles last month. It's up like about 230%. Musk fell 40%. There isn't a part of the world where Tesla is not falling under Musk. So this magic wand is way overstated. Again, he's brilliant. But it's time, for every Bill Gates to move on. And it's time maybe to see a succession developed here. And there are some other brilliant tech titans out there.
Well,
it doesn't cost $1 trillion. I just can't believe he would leave, by the way. Again, he'd be the biggest loser.
We're going